Our first video this time comes from a woman named Katie, who has a rather unusual hobby. She collects baby dolls, and her bedroom is filled with different dolls that she regularly shows on her social media. But in a video she posted last week, something strange happened that had nothing to do with the dolls themselves. Katie was getting ready in her bedroom when she opened her closet to grab some clothes, something she normally does without thinking twice. At first, everything seemed completely normal. But as she continued looking through her clothes, she suddenly noticed something that made her stop and take a closer look. The room quickly became much more unsettling than she expected, especially with all those dolls already surrounding her. And because Katie happened to be recording at the exact moment it happened, we can actually see what she noticed. Take a close look at the footage and see if you can spot it. The next part of the footage shows the strangest moment when Katie's closet door suddenly begins opening on its own. She was standing nearby, but there was no one else around who could have opened it, and the movement immediately caught her attention. Clearly startled, Katie decided not to simply walk away and instead tried to find a normal explanation. She walked over to the closet and carefully checked inside, looking for anything that could have caused the door to move. She also examined the area around the closet, but nothing obvious could explain why it had opened. In the end, Katie was left without a clear answer. Maybe the door simply wasn't fully closed, but the footage still makes the moment unsettling. After her first video went viral, Katie shared another clip showing what happened later that same night. And this time, things became even stranger. Katie was already in bed, believing the closet incident was finally over. But as she tried to relax and fall asleep, something else suddenly happened that caught her completely off guard. Katie was already in bed when the camera suddenly captured something strange moving beneath the blankets. At first, it looks like someone is slowly moving across the mattress. You can even see what appears to be footsteps traveling across the bed one after another. But the disturbing part is that no one can be seen anywhere in the room. The movement continues for several moments, creating the impression that something unseen is actually moving around on the bed. After sharing the previous footage, Katie went back to an older video from 2020. At the time, her daughter was still living at home and sleeping in the same room where several strange incidents had reportedly occurred. According to Katie, her daughter had been experiencing unsettling things during the night and would often notice unusual activity while trying to fall asleep. After these incidents continued happening, the family began taking the situation much more seriously. Wanting to understand what was really happening, Katie placed a camera inside the room and left it recording overnight. The idea was simple. If something was actually happening while her daughter slept, the camera might finally capture it. And when they watched the footage back, something immediately caught their attention. Take a close look and decide for yourself what you think was captured.
I'm sharing this video that we posted in the year 2020. This was when my daughter lived at home and the downstairs basement bedroom was where she slept. We had the camera in there because she had been experiencing creepy stuff bothering her during the night, and this is what we captured. For those of you commenting on my most recent video in that room with the door in the closet opening, no, it's not a natural thing in our home. It has been happening since 2018. We've had a lot of unexplained stuff. And even if the door popping open was natural due to how it was built, why does that not explain the sewing box that was thrown from the top shelf down as I was leaving the room yesterday. There's just a lot of unexplained stuff that have happened in this house since 2018, and we tend to share that footage. So have a look back at my older videos and reposts, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about and why.
While Katie's daughter was sleeping, something suddenly fell inside the closet. A small ball appears to roll off the shelf and hits the floor with enough force to wake her up and immediately frighten her. Startled and clearly unsettled, she quickly gets out of bed and leaves the room without wanting to investigate further. But the disturbing part is that there doesn't seem to be any obvious reason why the ball would have fallen on its own. After the footage was shared, viewers began debating what could have caused the ball to move. Some believe there may be a simple explanation that isn't obvious from the recording, while others think the incident is much harder to explain. So, what do you think really happened inside that closet? The next video comes from Nikki. If you remember, we've covered a disturbing incident from inside her home before. If you haven't seen that one yet, I'll leave the link in the description so you can check it out after this video. But this footage is even more unsettling. Nikki Vanna shared 2 disturbing clips recorded months apart inside the home her family had recently purchased. In the first clip, Nikki places her phone near a narrow pantry door while quietly working around the kitchen. For almost a full minute, nothing seems unusual, and everything appears completely normal. But while Nikki is crouched down with her back turned toward the rest of the kitchen, a sudden noise comes from the nearby room. The unexpected sound immediately catches her attention, causing her to turn around and investigate what could have made it. While Nikki was busy cleaning the kitchen, she had no idea that something strange was happening right behind her. The oven door slowly opened on its own while she remained completely focused on what she was doing. Moments later, the items inside the oven suddenly fell onto the floor, creating a loud noise that immediately caught her attention. Nikki turned around and was clearly startled. She had no idea what caused the oven door to open or why everything inside had suddenly fallen out. Frightened by what she had just witnessed, she quickly rushed out of the kitchen. 3 months later, Nikki uploaded another video recorded in the exact same kitchen. This time, the camera was positioned farther away, giving us a much wider view of the entire room. Once again, Nikki was busy cleaning and organizing, completely unaware of what was happening behind her. Only a few feet away, the camera quietly captured something taking place, while Nikki remained distracted. She had absolutely no idea what was happening in the background. And when you look closely at that area, you'll notice something that makes this second clip even more disturbing. Near the end of the footage, something extremely strange suddenly appears on the screen. The camera image seems to glitch or distort, with dark, jagged lines briefly flashing across different parts of the kitchen. One of these strange distortions cuts directly through the middle of the frame, while another appears near the ceiling. The interference only lasts for a fraction of a second before completely disappearing. But what makes the moment even more unsettling is Nikki's reaction. Or rather, her complete lack of one. She continues cleaning as if nothing happened, seemingly unaware that the camera just captured something unusual. It's difficult not to wonder what was really happening. Were the oven door opening and the strange camera distortion simply two unrelated coincidences? Or could something else have been happening inside Nikki's home without her knowing? What do you think really happened? This disturbing incident was shared by a woman who lives in a quiet home with several dogs that she treats like members of her own family. Normally, her dogs are calm, well-behaved, and rarely act strangely, but over time, their behavior began to change. They would suddenly stare down empty hallways, growl at closed doors, or bark as if something unseen was standing nearby. At first, the woman tried to dismiss it as normal behavior, but one night, while she was completely alone in the house, a loud knocking suddenly echoed through the rooms. Feeling curious, but also uneasy, she quickly grabbed her phone and started recording to find out where the sound was coming from. And what the camera captured made the entire incident even harder to explain.
Here. Wow. Happens all the time.
The knocking continued, appearing randomly and with enough force to echo through the house, yet there was still no clear source for the sound. Her dogs quickly became frightened, barking loudly while slowly backing away as if they could sense something invisible moving closer to them.
It just happened again and the dogs are freaked out. Get it. Davey, come over here. Get it. You be right there. Something opens that door, you need to get him. Oh my god, I don't know if it's gonna happen again. It just happened again. Move, 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 move. There's nobody there. The dog stopped barking now. Davey's freaking out by the door though.
A few days later, the same thing happened again. When she finally gathered the courage to open the door, there was no one there, no person, no sound, just silence filling the entire house. To this day, she still has no explanation for who or what was actually knocking on the door that night. A man believed he had finally found the perfect apartment. It was quiet, affordable, and located in a peaceful neighborhood, exactly what he had been looking for. But one night, while filming near the hallway, a loud scraping sound suddenly echoed through the apartment. Curious about where it was coming from, he slowly approached the source to find out what was happening. And what he discovered made the apartment feel much more unsettling. Take a look at the footage.
Looks like a... shock. 핑계는 shock. 핑계는 shock. 거기서요. 아야.
Suddenly, a drawer slid open on its own, stopping only inches from his feet. Completely panicked, he immediately ran outside without even thinking about what had just happened. From the street below, he looked up at his apartment window and suddenly froze. A dark figure was standing motionless behind the glass, staring directly down at him. Hours later, with nowhere else to go, he finally returned to the apartment. But deep down, he began to realize that something inside that apartment didn't want him there. And even more disturbing, whatever it was didn't seem ready to leave anytime soon. Jackson was home alone late at night when he suddenly began hearing slow, rhythmic knocking coming from downstairs. At first, he tried to ignore it, assuming the sound was simply the house settling or the wind outside. But the knocking didn't stop. It remained steady and always seemed to come from the exact same spot, almost as if something was deliberately trying to get Jackson's attention. Growing increasingly uneasy, Jackson grabbed his phone and started recording. He carefully began walking down the stairs to find out where the sound was coming from. But what happened next made the entire house feel even more disturbing. Take a look at the footage. Each step Jackson took echoed through the completely silent house. The mysterious knocking slowly led him toward a small storage room at the back of the house. When he finally opened the door, the knocking suddenly stopped completely. For a moment, Jackson thought the strange incident was finally over and began turning around to leave. But just as he was about to walk away, a cardboard box suddenly slid forward on its own. Jackson froze in fear and slowly backed away, realizing that whatever was inside that room might not want him to leave without knowing it was there. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you won't miss the next stories on the Terrifying Circle. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or stories you want to share, leave them in the comments below. See you in the next video.